Mom? Mom? Where were you? Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you protect me? I was dying and you didn't even notice. You were supposed to be there for me, Mama. I was hurting. I was losing.
Hello? This is your mother. Are you there? Are you coming home? Well, you don't know me.
Mom? Mom? Where were you? Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you protect me? I was dying and you didn't even notice. You were supposed to be there for me, Mama. I was hurting, Mom. Mom? Where were you? Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you protect me? I was dying and you didn't even notice. You were supposed to be there for me, Mama. I was hurting. I was losing my life. And where were you? Please save me, Mama. I'm scared. Please. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't. Mom? Mom? Where were you? Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you protect me? I was dying and you didn't even notice. You were supposed to be there for me, Mama. I was hurting. I was losing my life.
We were at a party. The dear love fell in the deep. Someone reached in and grabbed it. What a rock lobster! Rock lobster! Rock lobster!
Imagine coming home late at night and finding Ghostface already inside your house. As we walked into the bedroom, the security cameras showed him right outside the door.
Oh my God!
And we had no idea how long he'd been watching us. When we tried to escape, we found his first victim.
Hi, I'm Officer Cox of the Pine Grove Police Department. There is a suspect in here. He's armed and dangerous. I need you out of this home immediately.
Gotta get out as fast as you can. Go, go, go. Get out!
The cops are there to protect you. Don't you worry. The cops are there.
We did as we were told and ran for our lives, but just when I thought we made it, there he was again.
No, he's gonna kill.
Imagine trying to help a young criminal by kidnapping him and chaining him to your basement so you and your wife can fix his bad behaviors no matter what it takes. It's all a part of a special rehabilitation plan that you and your wife came up with, and it begins with chaining this young criminal by the neck so that he can't escape your basement. Even though your house is a massive mansion, so realistically nobody would be able to hear him scream or find him anyways. Soon the real rehabilitation plan begins, and it involves a lot of psychological manipulation, giving him treats when he follows your instructions and does what you say, and violence when he refuses. In a twisted way, you're conditioning him to almost want to one day join your family and be just like a son to you. This dysfunctional family taking it to the absolute extreme to fix people is actually quite interesting to watch in a horror movie context. There's a blurred line between the family's actions as this like demented form of care. In their minds, they're taking people off the street that they think are troubled and giving them a family to join. Or are they really just trying to make their victims develop Stockholm Syndrome? The ending of this movie was genuinely a lot better than I expected. It definitely stuck in my head for a while. So before I tell you the name of this movie, make sure to follow for more horror and movie content. This is a horror movie from 2025 called Heal, and in some places it's also called The Good Boy. The tone of it is a little bit more of a psychological thriller with horror elements or through a horror lens, but the story is really intriguing, and like I said, the ending is where it just all comes together for me. If you're looking for a twisted and dark but also at times funny psychological horror movie, then check this out, let me know what you thought, and follow for more. Imagine if you took a temporary job working at an isolated sugar factory, thinking you and your friends can make some good money while living and working together during the summer. But as soon as you arrive, you discover there are very strict rules that you all must follow. Since the sugar factory is in the middle of nowhere, you and the other seasonal workers are required to live on the facility with roommates. And the most important rule is that no one is allowed to leave their rooms at night, as there have been many reports throughout the years of people seeing strange and unexplainable things when it gets dark out in the nearby abandoned buildings and in the wilderness. But of course, on the first night, when you see the shadow of someone walking out the door, you assume it's just one of your roommates. So you follow them outside only to find that there's no one there. Knowing that you definitely saw someone, you follow in the direction that you thought you saw them going in. And eventually you reach an abandoned building that you never quite noticed during the daytime. That's when you hear a group of men's voices coming from the other side of a brick wall. At this point, you're too curious to turn back, so you look through a gap in the wall. But what you see is a group of people that you don't recognize performing some kind of ancient ritual. And before you can react, every single one of them turns around and stares directly at you. And then the title card hits. Before I tell you the name of this movie, make sure to follow for more horror and movie content. This is Sugar Mill, an Indonesian horror movie from 2025. If you saw my story, this is the hidden gem horror movie that I discovered that I was so excited to tell you guys about. Might be kind of a niche comparison, but this is like When Evil Lurks meets The Medium. Sugar Mill was genuinely scary. I remember screaming at least once. My only thing with it is that at certain points I thought the special effects and the music was a little bit overwhelming, but the actual movie itself, the storytelling, and most of the scares really worked for me. I love discovering lesser known horror movies for you guys, so let me know what you thought of this and follow for more. I remember the first time I saw this and how that night I felt like something was watching me sleep. If you know one thing about me, it's probably that I'm obsessed with horror movies, but there's one type of horror movie that has literally never been able to scare me. And that's alien horror movies, specifically alien abduction horror movies. I don't dislike them, sometimes I even find them interesting, but I just haven't been scared by them in a way that like a found footage horror movie or even something paranormal maybe would scare me. There has only ever been, in the history of the entire time that I've been watching horror movies, which is my entire life, only been one alien abduction horror movie that actually really got to me. A movie about a sleep therapist trying to help her patients by putting them under hypnosis. Then she realizes that all of her patients are having the exact same dream. They're all dreaming of a white owl looking into their bedroom window as they're sleeping. But the thing is, all of these patients, as they're under hypnosis, they know in the back of their minds that what they're seeing or what they're remembering is not really an owl. The way that they describe it in the movie is so eerie and uncanny. It's like whatever they're seeing is only pretending to be an owl. So imagine essentially an entity trying to break into your house and then wiping your memory and replacing it with a false memory of an owl. So what was really perched on their bedroom window watching them sleep and trying to get into their house? And how is it possible that all of these people who don't know each other, the only connection that they have is that they're the same sleep therapist patients? How are all of them, when put under hypnosis, remembering the exact same dream? If you haven't guessed already, this movie is The Fourth Kind. This is one of those movies where I don't have an explanation for, and I cannot comprehend how it has this low of a Rotten Tomatoes score. The Fourth Kind has a whopping 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I just need somebody to explain how they were not scared by this movie. I'm not exaggerating, okay? This is the only alien horror movie, alien abduction related horror movie that has ever managed to scare me. Also, after the collective dream part that I described, this movie goes absolutely batshit crazy. And it never gets better, but in a good way for people who love horror movies like us. If you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about, but the scene with the dad and his family, oh my god, that was just devastating is the only word that I have. I know this might be like a little bit of a strange out-of-pocket comp, but if you like the movie Poughkeepsie Tapes, you might like The Fourth Kind. They're both horror movies that just feel so real that it makes you forget that you're not watching an actual true crime documentary. My goal for 2026 should really just to be being able to do eyeliner on camera. Anyway, if you've seen this movie, please let me know what you thought, and especially if you thought it was scary. Not to say that a horror movie needs to be scary to be good. I've seen plenty of horror movies that I didn't think were scary that were equally as, but in this case, I'm just kind of curious. So let me know if you thought this was scary. And if you love horror movies, don't forget to follow for more.